Well, it's a quick turnaround coming off the Missouri game. Now we get a chance to play a team we played previously, probably within the last 2 weeks, and that's Mississippi State. We got 5 games left in conference play, and 3 are on the road. And this is the first of the 3 on the road, and we want to continue to play defense and be effective defensively as we were here. They're a team that's athletic. They play. They really get out there at home. They're quick. They attack the glass. Just seem like they have more possessions when they play at the hump. So it's going to be a big challenge for our basketball team. We have to get the Missouri game out of our system and move on to the next game. And so it's a big game in a lot of different ways.
Any fear after beating them by 20? I mean, there were times last night the team might have lost focus. Any fear of trap game, I guess, anything like that going ahead?
Well, you know, we've approached every game as being a big game. It's the next game on our schedule. We just know for a half we played pretty good. The second half it was pretty even, as a matter of fact. In fact, they may have outscored us in the second half. So we know we're going to have to put 2 good halves to play against Mississippi State. As I said, they're a scrappy team. They get after it. We're going to have to play some good basketball. So, and that's going to be the challenge for our guys, to continue to play consistent basketball. So when you talk about trap game, no, it's a big game. Just like any other game, it's a big game for us, and it's on the road.
Mikey, I go back to '94 since Arkansas had a winning SEC road record at the end of the year. So that comes with a lot of really good teams. But if you guys win, you'll be assured of a winning road record. What do you think about that?
It tells me we've been consistent in in our approach of games. Whether it be at home or on the road, our approach has been pretty consistent. Our guys are finding ways to win games, and so that means you got to somehow be in the game and hang around and make some plays at the end, whether it be free throws, getting a stop. So we've been pretty consistent about that. So that tells me that we've grown from last year. We've gotten better. We've gotten mentally better, I think, mentally tougher and physically tougher.
You really started late last year when you won at Kentucky and you won at Mississippi State. Could you kind of feel the worms start to turn late last year?
You could see it. You could see it. We were in games early on. We were in games. We didn't play, I think, any road games in the early non-conference schedule. But once we got into the conference schedule, we lost to A&M, and then I think the next game out maybe was probably at Georgia. It was an overtime game. We lost that game. Then we go to Tennessee. So you could see the trending how we were playing. And then all of a sudden, come February, it all starts coming together. Whether one game, the Vanderbilt game, I don't know. Which game it was, I don't know. But somehow the trigger kind of went off. And our guys, it don't matter where they play at. They feel confident in what we're doing, and they're confident in each other.
You sense a different mindset on the road? I mean, from the guys when you guys are in meetings or pregame meal or whatever. Can you just tell how much more confident they feel?
I think the leadership is very evident. I think the maturity and the leadership. And we've added some guys, I think, that bring what you got to have when you go on the road. You got to have some toughness. And I think we've added some toughness to this team.
You said last night on your radio show you thought you could still be playing better than you have been over the course of this win streak. In what areas were you referencing there?
Well, I think we can, for periods of time, I think we can continue to play better, not have the lapses on defense. And not only that, when we have runs going on teams where we have an opportunity to really put them away, to kind of deliver that as a breaking point in the game, especially the way we play. And we've got to take advantage of that. And that's what I don't think we've grown up to understand when that breaking point occurs.
Have you had other teams where one of the catalysts for the toughness of your team is a freshman like Anton Beard?
Have what now?
Have you ever had a freshman be one of the guys step up and be one of the leaders in terms of toughness for your team like Beard has for this squad?
I have to think on that one there. I tell you, he might be. I had a young guy that set out one year named Squeaky Johnson at UAB. And he was one of those guys that no sooner I inserted him in the lineup, everything we did just kind of went up. The J.T. Tiller kid I had at Missouri, but it was like after his freshman year. Sophomore year, all of a sudden it went up. So, but when you talk about a freshman, true freshman coming in and having that impact, other than the kids when we played here, you had some players that did that. Scotty was an impact player. You know the impact players, but in terms of a guard coming in and giving us what we've been needing, I think from day one, he's the kind of guard we are needing because he embodies what I'm all about: toughness, hard nose, blue collar, in the trenches, play to win. I think he's a winner. To me, that's what he does. He does all the things that help you win, and obviously he's been scoring here pretty good lately. But if you look at all the other stuff that takes place, I tell you what, he has gotten hit in the most of all guys, gotten hit in the nose and the mouth and all that stuff because he's right there doing the dirty work, and that's very similar to what Beck used to do for us. I mean, Corey Beck was that kind of player.
Beard and Madden giving you a little of kind of the dual point guards you had with Beck and McDaniel back in '94.
I mean, you can say that. I just think it's good when you got those two guys out there that can take care of the basketball and they can distribute it to others. Because Kai's catching the ball in a different area now. He's coming from the wing, attacking the baseline, giving it to him. Most times we've seen Kai, he's come from the top. And that's probably where the defense is at its strength there. And so now you're coming from the side. Now you can get skip passes involved with guys dropping to the hole. And we're seeing that with him, dropping off passes to Bobby and kicking passes out to guys, spotting up for shots. So it makes a big, big difference there. And of course, Mike handles the ball pretty well, too. I mean, you look at Landis, and so we got some skilled guys out there. And I think they're kind of connecting with one another in terms of movement and sharing the basketball. But to your point about Beard and Kai, I think it takes some of the pressure off Kai and just having to handle it all the time. The ball is moving really up the floor now. I mean, if you watch our team now, it is really getting up and down the floor, and we're getting into our offense a lot quicker now.
Mike, Mississippi State shot 2 of 21 in the first half here. I assume you figured you can't count on something like that happening again at their place, right?
Well, they just, like I said, they didn't have they was kind of on their heels when they played here. It'll be different there. It'll be on their toes there. So we're going to have to come with it. We're going to have to come and guard and defend and keep them off the boards and keep them away from getting cheap baskets.
How does Gavin Ware compare to some of the other bigs in the SEC in terms of a league that has some really good post players?
I tell you, he's really improved. I was really impressed with him when he played here. I mean, he can catch it down low. He's got that big body, got a nice hook, drop step to the baseline, to the middle. And, of course, now he's stepping away, shooting the ball from 17 feet out. I mean, he did that here. And he's a big space. I mean, he takes up a lot of space. I think he's really improved from last year. Just seemed like he's a little bit more calmer with the basketball. I thought last year he was in a little hurry sometimes, but now he's really improved, and he's someone they can throw the ball into and get something out of it.
61 deflections last night. What's like the norm, or what kind of goal do you guys set? Like, if we have this many, this is our. We want to have this many at least, or how much?
Yeah, when I go in there, I always talk about let's get 40. Let's get at least 40, and that shows me the activeness that we're active, we're seeing, we're trying to defend, and but to get 60, that tells me that we were really engaged defensively, and some of those we didn't come up with. And I said last night, one of them, we touched it like 4 times in one possession. And I don't think we came up with the basketball. But it just tells me we had a lot of guys that were kind of really locked into defense.
You won 22 games all of last year. You're already at 21. Does this year feel as different to you as a coach as maybe as it looks on paper right now?
Coming in this year, I said I felt more comfortable. Because I kind of had an idea what we had in terms of the players coming back and the guys coming in. You don't know how the guys coming in will impact. But I knew for a fact that, we had Bobby coming back, who was going to be a much better basketball player. You got Michael coming back. You got Kai Matt and Landis Harris, seniors. This is it for them. Then, of course, you got Ja'Cory juniors, Bell juniors. I mean, you got some guys coming in, and we had Keaton Miles sitting out coming in. You had Moses Kinsley coming back. So I had an idea, and you had Manuel Watkins, who last year I said was probably our most improved player in last year as a freshman. And so now he's having an opportunity to impact the team, and he's done a very good job. So I think just knowing what we had and of course through the non-conference schedule, through practice, now you get a better idea of the newcomers. And as we've kind of evolved into the season, we are seeing some guys step up. They have the opportunity, and Beard has kind of took the bull by the horns and stepped into that role, and just having a real good impact on his basketball team.
Do you sense the having record you have right now and that you've had over the last few weeks that maybe it's taken some pressure off your guys that allows them to play a little bit more loose than maybe they would be?
You know, the pressure, I think our guys just go each day just trying to get better. You know, we start off the year saying, hey, we want to be better than we were last year. Well, guess what? We're 26 games in the season. We're a little bit better. But that, to me, that's not the end result. And so, therefore, the day-to-day, the game, that's just the mindset. And we've started that, well, since I got here. And since this past year, that's what we talked about. The next game, that's the most important game. And so that, well, we don't get it ahead of ourselves. But have we improved? Absolutely. Do we have some more room for improvement? Without a doubt, we do.
Well, what's the area that concerns you most going forward? I mean, y'all won comfortably a lot the last couple of games, but is there somewhere where you look at and say we probably need to shore this up before postseason play?
I think just keep playing the way we're playing. I think that, and keep sharing the basketball. Our bench, I think, needs to continue stepping it up. Maybe get a little bit more scoring from them. But I'm not. You know, I'm not complaining about how we're playing. We're playing good basketball. But I still don't feel like we've clicked on all the cylinders. And so this is the time you want to start really playing some of your better basketball. And I think we're going in the right direction on that. I really do.
Coach, it seems that you've kind of found your starting five. How important is that going forward this year?
Well, I still, in my mind, I still have about 8, 9 starters. But I think this group now has shown that the continuity that we've been looking for. There's a good balance of defensive guys, offensive guys, and guys playing both ways, really. So that helps us get off to good starts. And then it's the trust factor is big, not only with those guys, but the guys coming off the bench as well. You know, no matter who I throw out there, there's the trust factor with them amongst themselves, and a trust factor with me and our coaching staff that they're going to go out there and they're going to get the job done. So, I think that's important that we know that these guys are who are the core guys, and we got a much better idea. Those core guys, that was 8, 9 guys, and in some senses it could be 10. That's going to be out there and playing for our basketball team.